You want to know the truth? Most men fail at asking a woman for intimacy, not because women don't want it, but because men ask in a way that kills attraction. They rush. They plead. They try to convince. And in her mind, that feels desperate. And desperation is the fastest way to make a woman lose desire. The shocking truth is this: a woman decides whether she'll ever be intimate with you within the first few minutes of knowing you. It's not logical. It's emotional. And the way you carry yourself when you ask can either unlock her desire or shut the door forever. If you've ever felt that sting where you wanted her, but the way you asked pushed her away, comment your story below. You'll realize you're not the only one, and make sure you subscribe, because here we go deeper into the psychology of women than anywhere else. Let's be real for a second. Women don't see intimacy the same way men do. For men, it can be about release, attraction, or closeness. For women, it's about safety, trust, and emotional energy. Here's what you need to understand. A woman's mind runs on filters. Every time you talk, every time you move, every time you suggest intimacy, her subconscious is asking, do I trust him? Does he respect himself? Does he make me feel safe? Does he make me feel desired or pressured? That's why so many guys get frustrated. They think, why can't I just be direct? Why does it feel like I have to pass a hidden test? But here's the secret. It's not about tricks or manipulation. It's about psychology. When you understand her emotional wiring, you stop guessing and you start leading. Imagine this. Two men ask the same woman for intimacy. One says it nervously, almost apologizing with his eyes. She pulls back. The other says it calmly, with quiet confidence. No pressure, no expectation. She leans in. Same words, different energy. That's the difference between rejection and attraction. So, here's what I'm going to give you. 5 psychological shifts that flip the script. 5 ways to ask for intimacy without begging, without games, without losing respect. These aren't just pickup lines. These are patterns from female psychology that trigger trust, safety, and attraction. But before I break those down, I want you to pause and ask yourself this. How many times have you walked away from a moment with her and later thought, I should have said something. I should have made a move. That regret eats at men. Not because of rejection, but because you never even gave yourself the chance. That ends here. Because once you see how intimacy really works in a woman's mind, you'll never look at those moments the same way again. So now I'll break down the exact steps, the small emotional shifts that make all the difference. And you'll see why it's not about asking at all. It's about inviting. Step 1. Shift from permission seeking to invitation. Most men ask for intimacy like they're asking for a favor. Would it be okay if that sounds weak? It makes her feel like she's the authority and you're just hoping for approval. Women don't want to feel like your mother. They want to feel like your lover. Instead of seeking permission, think of it as an invitation. Your energy says, I'm confident in what I want. You're welcome to join me in it. Example, you're watching a movie together. Your hand brushes hers. And instead of asking, can I hold your hand? You simply hold it slow, steady, confident. It's not about pressure. It's about leading with calm certainty. From her perspective, she feels desired, not begged. She feels chosen, not tested. Step 2. Build safety through calmness. Here's a secret. Women are hyper-aware of danger. It's wired into their biology. So when you ask for intimacy, her brain instantly checks. Am I safe? If your voice is rushed, if your body language is shaky, she feels unease. But if you're calm, grounded, and patient, her nervous system relaxes. Imagine you lean in slowly, not aggressively. You maintain eye contact. You smile softly, not hungrily. She feels it. Your calmness tells her, he's in control. I can trust this. From her perspective, this calm confidence is attractive. It tells her you respect her pace, and that builds trust faster than words. Step 3. Emotional connection first, physical later. This one hurts, but it's the truth. If she doesn't feel emotionally connected to you, she'll treat intimacy like a transaction. And once she feels it's transactional, her attraction dies. That's why some guys complain, "She sleeps with bad boys, but not me." What they don't see is that their bad boy makes her feel something first. Excitement, thrill, tension. Meanwhile, the nice guy tries to skip straight to the physical, with no emotional spark. Here's the shift. Talk to her, teaser. Make her laugh. Make her feel like she's the only woman in the room. When the emotional energy is charged, the physical naturally follows. From her perspective, this proves you actually see her, not just her body. Step 4. Speak desire without pressure. Most men are afraid to say what they want. Others say it too bluntly, and it comes off crude. The trick is balance. Example, instead of bluntly saying, "I want to have sex with you," you can say with steady eye contact, "You have no idea how hard it is not to kiss you right now." Notice the difference. It's not needy. It's not begging. It's desire spoken with restraint. This creates tension. It gives her space to lean in instead of feeling forced. From her perspective, this balance of honesty and restraint is irresistible. She feels wanted, but not pressured. Step 5. Nonverbal leadership. Sometimes the strongest way to ask is to not use words at all. Touch her hand. Guide her gently. Lean in slowly. Your body communicates more than your mouth ever will. If she pulls away, respect it. That respect makes her feel safe. If she doesn't, the silence becomes electric. That's intimacy without a single word spoken. From her perspective, your ability to lead non-verbally feels powerful. It shows maturity. It shows she can trust you to take the lead in the moment. Now you see it. Intimacy isn't about a cheesy linear begging for permission. It's about subtle shifts that make her feel chosen, safe, and desired. But I know what you're thinking. What about me? What about the times I've tried and it felt like she rejected me, or used me, or acted like I was crazy for even wanting her? That's what we'll break down next, because you need to heart this. You're not crazy, and you're not alone. Let me ask you this. How many times have you walked away from a woman thinking, "Did I do something wrong? Why do I always end up being the one who wants more while she pulls back?" Third, you replay the moment in your head. The hesitation, the rejection, the look on her face. And deep down you start to wonder, maybe I'm just not enough. Listen carefully. You're not crazy. You're not weak. And you're definitely not alone. Most men go through this, not because they're unattractive, but because they've been conditioned to chase approval. Society tells you, be nice, be patient, wait for her to decide, and when she doesn't, you're left feeling powerless. But here's the truth. Intimacy is not a test you have to pass. It's not about being perfect. It's about energy, presence, and self-respect. And the reason you felt overlooked isn't because you're broken. It's because you've been playing the game by her. Rules instead of your own. Take a breath. Let that sink in. Here's where everything changes. Women expect men to chase. They expect you to keep trying, keep proving, keep begging. That's the script they're used to. But when you go silent, when you stop begging for attention, when you pull your energy back and focus on yourself, something powerful happens. Suddenly, she feels the loss. Think about it. When you're always available, always texting, always waiting for her signal, she feels nothing. But when you step back, when you let silence do the talking, her mind starts to race. Why isn't he chasing me? Did I lose him? Did another woman catch his eye? That's not manipulation. That's psychology. Humans value what feels scarce. And when your attention becomes rare, she finally realizes its worth. Example, the moment she regrets. Picture this. You used to text her good morning every day. She barely replied. One day you stop. You focus on your life. You hit the gym. You work on your goals. You live without waiting for her response. At first she doesn't notice. Then a week passes. She sees your silence. She checks your social media. She wonders, why hasn't he texted? Did he lose interest? That's when the tables turn, because the man she once overlooked now feels out of reach. And that's when she regrets taking you for granted. From her side, it's emotional contrast. When you were chasing, she felt nothing. When you went silent, she felt curiosity, fear, even jealousy. It's not about games. It's about showing through your actions that your worth isn't tied to her validation. A man who can walk away is 10 times more attractive than a man who clings. And deep down, every woman knows it. So now you understand. Asking for intimacy isn't just about words or timing. It's about who you are when you ask and who you become when she resists. The men who win aren't the ones who beg. They're Theons who know their value, who walk away with calm silence, and who rise so high that she has no choice but to notice. And that's exactly what we'll close with next. The final step, reclaiming your worth and making intimacy flow naturally by leveling up your life. Let's strip it all down to the core. Intimacy with a woman is not something you earn by chasing. It's something that naturally flows when you stand in your worth. Think about the man you want to become. A man who doesn't wait around for her text. A man who doesn't beg for scraps of attention. A man who is so focused on his growth, his mission, his discipline, that when he finally gives intimacy, it feels like a gift, not a plea. Women can feel this difference instantly. The man who chases intimacy loses power. The man who embodies value creates desire without effort. And here's the real shift. When you stop making intimacy the goal and start making growth the goal, women can't help but notice, because energy doesn't lie. A man who respects himself, who invests in himself, who walks into a room with quiet certainty, doesn't need to ask for intimacy. It naturally gravitates to him. Picture two men again. One spends hours texting, begging, waiting for approval. His life is on pause. His energy screams low value. The other spends hours grinding in the gym, sharpening his mind, chasing his mission. When he sees her, his presence is magnetic. He's not desperate. He's not needy. He's simply there. Which one does she desire more? The answer is obvious, because a woman doesn't just want your body. She wants your energy. She wants to feel like she's stepping into the world of a man who knows who he is. And here's the final truth. The man who can walk away without anger, without bitterness, but with quiet self-respect is the man who never loses. Even if she rejects you, you win. Why? Because you kept your dignity. You didn't let her decision break your worth. Rejection only hurts when you tie it to your identity. But when you realize you're already enough with or without her, then rejection is just redirection. It pushes you toward growth, toward better connections, toward the woman who sees your value without hesitation. That's the ultimate psychological trick. Not chasing, not pleading, but standing tall in your silence and letting her come to you. So remember this, asking for intimacy isn't about words. It's about who you are when you speak them. Lead with calm, build safety, speak desire with restraint. And when the moment comes, let your silence and self-respect do the heavy lifting. Because in the end, the most attractive thing you can show a woman isn't how badly you want her. It's how deeply you respect yourself. Now I want to hear from you. Think back to the last time you asked a woman for intimacy. Did you feel confident? Or did you feel like you were seeking permission? Drop your answer in the comments. Share your story because you'll realize you're not alone and other men need to hear it too. And if this message hit home for you, subscribe for more insights into female psychology and the truth about attraction. Because the more you understand her mind, the less you'll ever feel powerless.